I don't know what exactly is going to be in these boxes, but there are plenty of reasons and plenty of ways to start your gemstone collection. So let's unbox some of them. Oh, I've got a clue, okay. There are no rules when it comes to this, just get what you love. Are we going to a Chinese buffet? Oh, wait. Who's been at my desk? This is mine. This is a ruby and zoisite sphere that I got. I really like it because, one, I think rough polished ruby is so pretty. A clean faceted ruby is very cool and all, but they are prohibitively expensive, and a lot of rough ruby just isn't suitable to be faceted and cut into a gemstone. So I think the rough stuff polished up in a nice sphere like this is really cool. And then there's the zoisite on the back side. So you've got ruby on one side, zoisite on the other side. Ruby in zoisite is also known as ALLOCHROMATIC, and I believe it was first discovered in Tanzania, the home of tanzanite. The ruby is this purplish red side. The zoisite is the green stuff on the other side. And the black that kind of speckles the zoisite and kind of runs through the middle is a stone called hornblende. Next box. I see what we're doing here. Okay, a ruby and zoisite ring. Mostly ruby, a little bit of zoisite, not as much zoisite as my ball. A little feldspar, a little sunstone, a little bit of blue. This kind of looks like it's also bicolor, and it's differently bicolor depending on where I rotate it. All right, what else we got in here? This might be a polished ruby and zoisite, another red and green. This might be a fluorite. Ah, AMETRINE, beautiful, amethyst and citrine, right down the middle. And then this, it is an Afghan bicolor topaz, a large topaz. Beautifully bicolored. Wow, look at that. Minimally included, it's super clear. The classic AMETRINE, which is amethyst and citrine in one gemstone. These have to get treated in order to change the color. I believe it's heat treatment of amethyst will give you the citrine color, and then irradiation of citrine will revert it back to the amethyst. And what you do to get it to split down the middle, color-wise, is you can very precisely direct your irradiation treatment, revert one end of a citrine back to the amethyst color, and leave the other one orange. Here we have a tanzanite treated, the blue, the famous blue color, and then on the other side, an untreated tanzanite, which is the less famous pre-treatment kind of yellow, earthy color. And the blue one is exhibiting some strong pleochroism. In fact, I would be convinced that it was trichroic, because from one angle it looks almost colorless. From another angle it looks to be very darkly violet, and then from another it's just kind of a pale blue. But one of the common questions that a lot of people have about gemstone collecting is, how do I start, where do I start? Just get what you like. I liked this because it had two different colors, but there are plenty of reasons and plenty of ways to start your gemstone collection. So let's unbox some of them. That's all I know. I don't know what exactly is going to be in these boxes, but I know that we're going to be walking through a couple ways to start your collection. Yes, got long grabbers. Okay, next box. What do we got? Whoa, look at this. Very blue, very green, very blue and green, very blue and purple. I think I know what we're dealing with here. This is a great specimen to start with, a great variety of gem to start with. This is fluorite. It's so pretty, you might assume it's wildly expensive or it's hard to get. It's so abundant, and there are so many different varieties and colors and flavors of fluorite that it is a great starter stone to kick off your collection. Not only does fluorite look great when it's faceted, no matter the color, but it also usually looks great as a mineral specimen. It's part of the cubic crystal system, which means that sometimes you can get just really straight-edged, hard-angled, otherworldly looking fluorite specimens. This fluorite is banded, so you can see up at the top there's a distinctly purple areas, and then there's a thin band of blue, another thin band of purple, and then blue. And then in the middle of the big blue body, there's also a little bit of darker blue. And this banding could serve to kind of tell a story about the formation process that this particular fluorite crystal went under, which differs from the formation process of this bicolor fluorite, which is also faceted differently because it's got different internal color characteristics. Fluorite is allochromatic, meaning it doesn't have a color innate in it, in its chemical makeup. It gets its color from impurities and outside chemicals. What that basically means is it can form in basically any color you can imagine that can be naturally created by the presence of chemicals or radiation or heat or whatever. But you can also, since it's so abundant around the world, you can also collect based on locality. That's what a lot of collectors like to do with many different gemstones. China is famous for banded fluorite. You've got blue John fluorite, which is really unique even among fluorite. Not every gemstone is going to be that available in different places, but fluorite is definitely one of them. Very often, naturally pretty. This came out of the ground looking like this, woke up like this. And since it's so abundant, you can get it relatively inexpensively compared to a lot of other minerals and gems. What do we got in here? Another box. Talk about variety. Okay, check this out. This is quartz. And you might think, oh, quartz. Quartz is boring. Everybody knows about quartz. Incorrect. You're wrong. Quartz can have so many different inclusions in it. Liquid inclusions, solid inclusions, mineral inclusions. I've literally seen quartz with petroleum sloshing around in it. Tell me you wouldn't want to add that to your collection. Strawberry quartz, named for its red inclusions. Kind of gives it a little bit of strawberry vibe. So the red, the strawberry, are red hematite inclusions, and then the black are just a little iron oxide guys for flavor. This spread that I have here is just the tip of the iceberg as far as quartz collecting. This one has pyrite inclusions. They're shaped like little lily pads. They're all in a row. There's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little lily pad shaped inclusions, I should say. I was talking about this earlier, petroleum quartz. Look at this guy. There are literally bubbles of gas in liquid petroleum in this quartz crystal. You know how wild that is? Not only does this stone fluoresce, there is a pocket of moving liquid with a bubble in it inside of this quartz. This one is cut a particularly interesting way. This is tourmalinated quartz. Quartz with long, thin, spindly tourmaline crystals inside of it. It's a 2-for-1, it's a buy one, get one, it's a BOGO. It's just another example of the variety of quartz. And lastly here we have rutilated quartz. Similar to the tourmalinated in that it is full of thin needle-like inclusions, but instead of black ones, rutile inclusions. That is just the tip of the iceberg. Your first quartz specimen doesn't have to be this gigantic shield of rutile. It could be something, it could be a perfectly colorless, polished quartz sphere. It could be any variety of things. That's the beauty of quartz, man. But let's keep going. Whoa! What do we got going on here? We've got another smaller one here that goes with these guys. I've heard it's a little bit fragile, so I'm gonna be... Look at this. This is stibnite. Long, slender crystals, all kind of coming together down here at a point. It can be dull in luster. This is anything but. This is metallic in luster. One really cool thing about this is it's only got a hardness of 2, so it actually used to be ground up in ancient times, mixed with fat, and used as eye makeup. Not only that, but if you had the heart to grind up something like this, it was also used in ancient times as flash powder. So it looks like that we are looking at rough crystal specimens. These are all pretty uncommon ones. I'm gonna start with this very green guy here. This is from Russia and it's called UVAROVITE. And look at the green color on that. I mean, can you imagine walking around in the freezing cold and then you see this? You're like, I'm gonna risk frostbite to pick this up off the ground, that's for sure. A garnet species. It's fairly unknown. So when I hold it to my loupe, I'm expecting, because this is garnet, you can see some cubes, I see some dodecahedrons, of whole variety of crystalline shapes. This is a mineral that I've actually not encountered before. I would say that not a lot of people have because the species was only named in 2006. It comes from one mine in South Africa and it's called olmite, named after Italian mineralogist Filippo Olmi. It comes from one mine in South Africa, which is part of its appeal. It looks like it's resin coated, but it's so kind of knobbly that it's almost pearly. It looks like it's honestly coated like a resin of some kind. So, okay, this guy is called STAUROLITE, and it comes from the Greek word stauros, meaning cross. It's a twin, and they're intersecting at 90 degrees to each other. It's been called St. Andrew's Cross, Lucky Cross, Fairy Stone, all kinds of things, making it, of course, extremely desirable for many collections and collectors. So this is ferruginous quartz. I've been told to loop it, so we're gonna loop it. I've got little nodules of yellow, metallic luster, very uniform shapes, hard-edged shapes with striations, parallel striations that are 90 degrees to each other from face to face, all indicative of pyrite. But on the actual quartz portions of this specimen, they're all tipped with red, white to colorless, translucent quartz terminations, but then at the termination end is this cluster of red color flecks. They are iron oxides, which is the red color. Also, where the quartz gets its name, ferruginous quartz. And then on the other, boy, there's a lot going on here. And then there's this kind of blue, silvery, metallic, lustered thing going on over here. I'd say one of the things that would make this a very desirable mineral specimen, not only the size of it, you can really appreciate it from a distance. The sheer variety of mineral, we've got our quartz over here, little pyrite clusters that look like they have no business being there. And then this white mineral dotting the other side of our red quartz, which if I had to guess, it's either another variety of quartz or yet another variety of calcite. A tentative 5 different kinds of minerals on this one specimen alone. All right, this last box is gonna round out our collection. Hold on, these are mine. One of the cool things about collecting minerals is you don't have to go to the store and buy one. You can find them in your backyard. My dad found these digging in the backyard. These are calcite crystals. So this is one big old dogtooth calcite. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it is very gorgeous to me. Then there's another calcite. It's a twinned dogtooth. So I've got 2 large calcite crystals twinning together, coming together at the tip here, but then 2 smaller ones on the underside coming away from each other. These are not native to this part of the country, so it's likely that they were dumped here with a big old pile of fill dirt from a nearby mine where these were actually dug up originally, which would also explain the scuff marks on the edges. Now these might not be super duper valuable as they are, but to me, these represent the start of my collection. Lastly, we have a tiger's eye sphere. Unlike chatoyancy and asterism, it doesn't have to be illuminated in a particular way in order to see the effect. You can really just rotate it and appreciate it from any angle you'd like. I think my favorite part of this particular specimen is right here, this little bullseye. So it looks dark when you look at it from the front, but as you rotate it, it becomes more yellow. So dark and yellow.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Dark, 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 dark. Here's my crystal collection so far. I've got my ruby and zoisite. I've got my calcite from the backyard that my dad dug up. I've got my tiger's eye, but that's the joy. I've got rough specimens, I've got bicolor specimens, optical phenomenon specimens. So really, you can collect whatever you like. That's the beauty of it, that hint that I got at the beginning. There are no rules. You get what you like. I like. Follow your passion, follow your heart. What? Just collect whatever it is you like, guys. Don't let anyone tell you that, oh, that one's not worth anything, that one's ugly, that one's not, no one's gonna find value in that. Why would you collect that? Because you want it. That's the only reason. Okay guys, so for our closer look today, I wanna check out this 4-in-1, 5-in-1 hodgepodge mineral. But that's just one of the cool things about mineral collecting is that sometimes minerals just kinda sprout seemingly out of nowhere and get along with each other. So let's take a closer look at this ferruginous quartz. Okay guys, that's it for us, but before we go, if you would like to learn more about mineral collecting or just gems and minerals in general, you should head over to our new website, gemstones.com. We have an enormous online database, our Gemopedia, on gemstones.com, where you can learn about any or all of the mineral specimens and gemstones that we talked about today. There's also an article on there that can tell you literally how to start collecting gemstones for yourself. If you do have a collection already, tell me, how did it start? Did you find something in your backyard, or did you find something at the store that you couldn't walk out without? Let me know down in the comment section. Of course, like and subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching.